Hi, my name is Heather, and welcome to another episode of my Etsy workshop series, where we'll be building our digital shops from the ground up. Today, we're going to be making a downloadable coloring activity sheet. This is a really good project that you can make very quickly because you don't have to color anything in. You're just going to be doing outlines. And you can make one for each holiday, and then you can have all the different ones on your shop for the different holidays, and then you can also sell a bundle that will include all of the holidays. So this is a really great project. I have a maze and a word search generator for you that I'm going to show you later that are for commercial use and free. Since Valentine's Day is coming up in like a month and a half, we're going to be doing Valentine's Day for this one because it's good to get your seasonal items up a little bit early because people might be shopping early. Oh, and by the way, of course you can do different things than I'm doing. I'm just kind of showing you examples. So definitely make it your own and be creative with it and have fun. We're going to be making this 8.5 by 11 since that's the standard size that people are going to be printing it out. So I'm going to create a new file and I'll just pick paper. That's automatically going to be 8.5 by 11 at 300 dpi, so that's perfect. I always like to start by sketching stuff out first. So I'm just going to get a gray and I'll pick some random pencil. This is the Bardo brush colored pencil. I'll just start sketching my layout. Of course, I want to have a title somewhere, so maybe I'll put it like here, and maybe it'll just say like Valentine's coloring sheet. And for the text, I always like to, in the end, do it with an actual font. So I'll just write it in here, but eventually it'll be really nice as a font. For my main subject here in the middle, I think I'm going to do like a color the bouquet. Those ones are really fun, like just color the something. So I'm going to do some kind of Valentine's bouquet here. And I definitely want to do a maze because I just think those are so fun and very easy because you only have to draw like the beginning and the end, and then the rest we're just going to generate. So I will do help the ladybug find her way to her friend. And I do always like to add some cute little like embellishments, just kind of pay attention to detail, like add those little details because those are what are going to make it really cute. And one thing that I also think is really fun is when some elements like overlap others. It's just so unexpected. So like if this flower actually overlaps the maze a little bit, then I just think that's so fun. I also, for some reason, I love doing the ones that are like circle the things that something something. So like for this one, we could do circle the things that would make great Valentine's Day gifts. So maybe I'll do that up here, but let me make this a little bit smaller here. So we'll do circle the things that would make great Valentine's gifts. And we could do like a little box of chocolates, those heart boxes. And we could do like a lollipop, maybe a card. And then we have to think of things that would be bad Valentine's Day gifts. Everything I'm thinking of is so weird, like a dead animal. Maybe like a stick. Although actually my rabbit would really like a stick as a Valentine's Day gift. Maybe a chicken leg, which I could also argue that that could be a good Valentine's Day gift, but that's what I got. How about something that would be a gift for a different holiday, not Valentine's Day? Maybe like a jack-o'-lantern, because that's not Valentine's Day, that's actually for Halloween. And if you give someone that, then it's all the way from back in October, so it probably has gone bad by now. It's probably mushy. Let's add one more thing. This can be a good Valentine's Day gift. We can do a cupcake. We might want to have some kind of border around it because it is kind of looking messy. So we could end up having the text maybe in like a box and then have this box go like that. Now let's just add a couple more things here. Let's definitely do a word search because I want to show you the free website that you can create a word search for commercial use. So we'll just do like Valentine's Day word search. And then we're just going to list the words down here. and then we'll have the scrambled letters up there. For the last thing, let's do a writing prompt. I'm going to make this a little sticky note, and I'm going to say, list 5 things that you love. And then I'll just have some lines here. Here is my basic layout for my coloring sheet. And now I'm going to go to that layer and I will lower the opacity. And now I'm going to create a new layer and I'll get black. For the lines of the coloring sheet, my favorite pen is the Standard Inker by BJ Dell. Syrup under inking is also similar. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing these out. And now I'm just going to move on to my little Valentine's Day gift items. For drawing these squares out, I like to use the grid, so I'm just going to click the wrench and turn the drawing guide on, and that way I can make sure that my lines are actually straight. I want to make sure that the square that I draw for the maze is a perfect square. So that way when I get the maze and I generate it as a square, it'll just fit in perfectly. So I'm going to use the grid boxes for that. So I'll just count the number of squares that I have. I'm going to move the ladybug down. But be careful when you're moving things in Procreate because each time you move it, it loses a little bit of quality. So you don't want to move things around too much. For the Valentine's Day word search, the only thing I really need to draw is the box. But I could add some other cute little things if I want it to look a little more fun. So since I have the ladybugs, maybe I'll do some little butterflies here. And the last thing is our little list 5 things. For my little pieces of tape, I'm going to do that on a new layer. So that way I can make this line go all the way across. And then I can just go to the layer below it and erase where it overlaps it. Now this is ready to bring into Canva so that we can add the text and the word search and the maze. I like to export 2 versions of this. One is going to include the sketch, and that way we'll have all of our little notes for reference, like that we want the title here and we want the word search here and all that. So with the sketch still showing, I'm going to click the wrench and do share, and I can just do it as a JPEG since we don't need any transparency for this one, and I'll do save image. And then I'm going to hide the sketch and also hide the background color. So now we're going to have it as a transparent PNG. I'm going to click the wrench, pick PNG, save image. Now I'm in Canva and I'm going to create a new design. First we'll need to change the units from pixels to inches. And then for the width, we'll do 11, and for the height, we'll do 8.5, and create new design. Now I'm going to upload my 2 files that I had exported. First, I'll drop in the JPEG that had the sketch in the background, and I'm just going to resize it to fit the page. And then I will do the PNG and resize that. Now I'll go ahead and show you those websites I was talking about. For the maze, there's this website, multimazegenerator.com, and if you look at the About page, it says this puzzle generator is free to use even for commercial use. And you can also donate to support their website. So if you do use it, feel free to donate. It would be a good way to support them. So I'm going to go to Generate, and I'm going to pick Square, and you can just leave it on recursive, that's fine. And this is a 10 by 10. It is like super simple. So let's maybe try 20 by 20 and generate. That is maybe a little too complicated. Let's do 15 by 15. That looks pretty much perfect. Then you can download it as a PNG. It's going to end up in a zip file, so just unzip that and then you'll have your PNG there. Then I can go back to my Canva document and I'm just going to upload it. And here is my little maze. I'm going to make it bigger so that the edges overlap with the edges that I drew. Also, you can see that the lines of the maze are super thin. So I'm going to go to Edit Photo and I'm going to pick Shadows and I'm going to do Outline. And as you can see, you can make it as thick as you want. Now we can add the entrance and the exit to the maze. I want the entrance and the exit to be where my arrows are. So what I'm going to do is, even though the original maze had the entrance over here, I'm just going to move it over to this side. It's not really going to affect the maze in any way. So to do that, I'm going to go to Elements and I'm just going to pick a square and I'll make it white. And then I'll just make it smaller and I'll put it right here. And I'll kind of match it up with the grid. Like if I put it here, it's not going to make a whole lot of sense. You kind of want it to match with the grid. So this is probably pretty good right here. And then we can do the same thing for an exit. So I'll just copy this and I'll put this right here. So that way it lines up with this little tunnel here. So that's perfect. The last thing is that it is overlapping my little flowers here. So I'd rather not have that. Since it isn't like an exact shape where I want to cover it, it's probably going to be easiest if I actually use the draw function in Canva. So over on the left here, I'm going to click draw and I'll pick the marker. And for the color, I want it to be white. And then I can just color where I want it to be covered up. And you can also change the size of it here. Now I'll go to position. And in my layers, I'm going to grab all these little blobs that I just drew, and I'm going to group them. And then I'm going to pull them underneath my drawing layer. And then the maze will need to be underneath the little blobs that I drew. So I'm going to pull this all the way down here. And then once I delete my sketch layer, you can see that it looks pretty seamless. Now we can generate our Valentine's Day word search. Here's the word search generator. It's called Word Search Labs. And here's where it says that it's free for commercial use. You don't have to give any attribution. I couldn't find any place where you can donate to this one, but it looks like they just want you to share the word search with other people, so that's cool. I'm going to put some words that are related to Valentine's Day. Let's try 10 by 10. That looks pretty good for the activity sheet. For the passcode, you're just going to enter a passcode so that you can edit it later if you want to. And then go ahead and click Save. You can click Share here, select Plain Text, and then Generate. And now you're just going to select all of this text and click Copy. Now we're going to go back to Canva, and I'm going to click Text and add a text box. And then I'll just paste. And in order for this word search to work correctly, or for any word search to work, you need to have a monospaced font where each letter takes up the exact same amount of white space, so that way they'll be in a grid. We can actually go up here and pick monospace, and these should be all monospaced fonts. So you can just pick one that you like. There aren't really very many cute monospaced fonts, but you might find one that you like more than others. It's Heather from Editing here, and I realized something as I was editing this video. When I first put the word search down, it didn't fit perfectly within the box. It was the wrong proportions because it's more kind of tall looking. So I grabbed a white rectangle, covered up the box, and grabbed a new box from the Canva Elements. But as I was editing, I realized I should have just gone back and regenerated the word search and entered in less rows. So I could have had like 6 or 7 rows and then 10 columns, and it probably would have fit perfectly within the box. So if you have that problem as well, then just go back to the word search and just enter in a better number for the rows and columns to make it fit within the box you drew. Now we just need to add all of our text in. So I'll just go to text, I'll add a heading, and let's pick a different font. And then I'll just duplicate these so that I can make my other headings. It might look like you're making this super small, but if you look up here, the font size is 19. That's actually pretty big. And don't forget to check your line spacing. And I'll just duplicate this. Lastly, you might want to put your name or your website or something on here. I'm going to just copy this text and I'll just say Art by Heather Cash. It doesn't really fit great here, so I'll just rotate it. Now I can go to position and I'll find that bottom layer that was our guide and I'll just delete it. You may find that you want to make a few little adjustments once you see it without the sketch in the background. And then you can rename the name of it because it might be named something weird like mine is from the word search. Then you can click share and download, PDF print, flatten, and you can really just leave it as RGB. Since it's only a black and white document, it really doesn't matter, and click download. And then that's the file that you will upload to your Etsy listing. For the next video in this series, I'll show you how to create thumbnails for this listing, and I'll also walk you through the upload process. Go ahead and make your coloring and activity sheet that you want to upload to your Etsy shop. Also, check out my Creativity Club on Facebook where we share our projects and inspire and motivate each other. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or as always, you can email me at heather@heathercash.com. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.